Welcome, my name is Emma Davis. Let's settle for the details. Ghana would benefit from elevated gold prices in 2024 and 2025. According to rating agency Fitch, gold prices will average at $2,000 per ounce during the forecast period. Here's more in this report.
In a report titled Global Gold Mining Relative Credit Analysis, Fitch said the gold producers' 2023 sector credit outlook is stable, supported by healthy balance sheets. According to the UK-based firm, the gold producer financial metrics remain strong for respective ratings, partially driven by a period of high gold prices beginning in 2020. Again, gold prices have been resilient despite raising real interest rates beginning in 2022, supported in part by geopolitical factors. The precious metal has been trading high this year, going for a little above $1,900 per ounce. According to the Bank of Ghana, gold continued to dominate the total value of exports, recording $4.6 billion in the first 8 months, higher than the $4.2 billion recorded during the same period last year.
Auditing and accounting firm KPMG is predicting a positive growth rate for Ghana's economy next year. The forecast is based on some expected inflow of funds, which is likely to stabilize the local currency and spur confidence in the business environment. Speaking to journalists on its 2024 pre-budget survey, partner for deal advisory at KPMG, Evan Sasari, disclosed that growth will return to pre-COVID levels.
Believe very strongly that Ghana is on a path to recovery, from the economic challenges and turbulence that we've experienced over the last few months. We've seen real GDP growth in the region of 3% thereabout for the second quarter. If it continues to the end of this year, what it means is that we are likely to double real GDP growth that we've targeted at 1.5%. So 2024 seems to be quite a year that we anticipate a lot of the policies to have the real effect and impact that we have. Businesses should still have confidence, in the economy. These times are challenging, but we know that once we see a bit of light at the end of the tunnel, it means that we'll get through this, this economic difficulties, and then we'll come out as a very strong and robust and resilient economy. We expect growth to be gradually inching up to the pre-COVID era sometime. We know that our debt sustainability issues are being addressed, once we get external creditors and all that to come to the party. And then we know that, yes, now we have addressed all these challenges that we are facing. So we are hopeful with the launch of this Ghana Mutual Prosperity Dialogues by the Ministry of Finance. We believe that it will be a platform for private sector and public sector to engage, and then for us to jaw and see how best we can all help to get the economy back on its foot. I think I'll leave with some other comments, that businesses also felt that, look, there needs to be certainty, there needs to be clarity in the business environment for there to be confidence in the economy. So these are critical to drive the economy forward.
Rating agency Fitch has indicated that Ghana's public debt will decline to 87% in relation to the size of the economy at the end of 2023 from 89% in 2022. Fitch expects this will be partly offset by 33% year-on-year cedi depreciation compared with the end of 2022. Reacting to this development, economist Dr. Patrick Esumin stated that despite the rate of reduction being minimal, it's significant to the economy and it cannot be overlooked.
Of course, it's only 3 percentage points, but I think it's important that we need to see some progress for the reforms that we've been doing. So in terms of where this is coming from, I think the fiscal consolidation itself wouldn't have been expected to achieve that much. But because of the debt restructuring that we are doing, I think the debt should come down. Don't forget that when we finish the current program, we are supposed to hit around 55% or so. So it is a step by a small step compared to where we have to reach by the end of the program.
Is that to say that it is insignificant, irrespective of the fact that, yes, it's playing a major role?
I would not say it's insignificant. If we were not doing these consolidations, I'm sure we wouldn't have been collecting that much revenue and we would have been spending more. So it's not like we would have been at 90% and suddenly we are going to be at 87%. No.
Well,
now, this is based on updated information. So based on updated information, you should read this as meaning that we are probably going to cut the deficit a little bit more than we thought at the start of the year.
Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta has hinted that the Executive Board of the International Monetary Fund is expected to deliberate on Ghana's approval for the second tranche disbursement of the extended credit facility in the third week of November. My colleague James Ishan has more in the following report.
Finance Minister, the government remains optimistic that the official creditor committee in the Paris Club will reach an agreement towards the signing of an MOU to pave the way for the second tranche disbursement of $600 million. Speaking at the Maiden Ghana Mutual Prosperity Dialogues, the Finance Minister pointed out that the period between now and the end of the year is critical for Ghana to chart a path toward economic stability.
The expectation is that the fund will go for a board meeting maybe the third week of November, and hopefully with the OCC or the Paris Club bringing a memorandum of understanding, we should be able to clear for the second disbursement. This period between now and year end are critical. We do have the budget November 15th. We have the IMF board meeting November 22nd. In between here, we are negotiating with the IPPs to get stability in our energy sector. We pray that this will be done by end of November. And we also initiated discussions with our Eurobond investors and gave them broad contours of what we would like to see. They have also brought us some illustrative scenarios.
The Finance Minister also said government will roll out a growth strategy to complement Ghana's macro-fiscal reforms under the IMF program to support business growth in its 2024 budget.
Going forward, our objective will be to recalibrate our approach so we can do more with the private sector. To deepen this effort, we are broadening the collaboration to bring all of us, the private sector, both foreign and local, development partners, labor and government, closer to foster and an intimate partnership going forward. Hence, the forum, which we have named the Ghana Mutual Prosperity Dialogue, is not merely a one-off event, but a platform for ongoing dialogue and engagement between all stakeholders.
The Ghana Mutual Prosperity Dialogues aim to recalibrate government's approach to deepening collaboration with the private sector, development partners, labor and government to foster intimate partnerships. James Echen's report for Joy Business.
Away from the fiscals and to nuclear energy, the government of Ghana says it has identified nuclear energy as the most reliable alternative energy source to ensure energy security. The country over the years has relied on hydro and thermal energy as its main source of energy. However, as the country's energy demand is projected to rise, President Akufo-Addo has commenced negotiations on the best vendor of nuclear technology to Ghana. There's more in this report.
Ghana is hosting the first international framework for nuclear energy cooperation since the COVID-19 pandemic. The conference is bringing together countries seeking to leverage nuclear technology to promote energy security. Many African governments envision nuclear energy as a key element in their future energy strategies to address climate change and to enhance energy security. Alicia Duncan is chairperson of the framework.
and IFNEC was actually founded here in Ghana. So now we are fortunate to be able to come back to this great continent to have this important discussion as we look at the current challenges facing us globally of climate and energy security, and how we may work together to solve those commonly shared challenges. We know that there are many challenges facing our countries as they look towards nuclear readiness. And on the continent of Africa, we see it as an important opportunity for the IFNEC members, which include many advanced nuclear countries, as well as those countries considering nuclear, as well as those developing their nuclear programs.
Ghana, as host country for this year's ministerial conference, reveals that it is exploring partnerships that will advance the country's nuclear infrastructure. This is due to the country's ever-expanding and increasing energy demand. Ghana's Minister for Environment, Science and Technology, Dr. Kweku Afriyie, tells JoyNews that President Akufo-Addo is engaged in consultations to inform the technical direction of Ghana's nuclear energy program.
But we are not far behind. We are in phase 2. We are using the IAEA guidelines. That one, you have no issues with the international community. So phase 2 means we have gone into, we set up regulatory bodies, entities. We have even had a site. We have 3 sites currently in Ghana, cannot disclose it now. We are torn between using small modular nuclear reactors and then the classical one. That decision will be made currently before cabinet. So we've built up our capacity. Ghana Atomic Energy Commission. It's not every country in Africa which has those entities. So when it comes to regulation, when it comes to deployment and whatnot, we are ready. We have the technical manpower to the extent that we even export some to other countries.
As an emerging economy, there are concerns that Ghana may not possess significant capabilities that will pave way for the country to go nuclear. However, Deputy Director General of the Nuclear Energy Agency, Dr. Gail Marcos, says the country has sufficient intellectual infrastructure that will pave way for a successful implementation of the program.
What I have seen and understood thus far is that there is a very strong core of people in Ghana that have excellent training in technical areas related to nuclear energy. The structures are coming into place, a regulatory organization that understands nuclear safety. It is one thing to invite another country to come in to build a nuclear power plant for you. Anybody can do that. But to take the responsibility to understand the technology, to make choices, to decide that you're not going to rely on one technology or supplier, but you want to have the ability to do multiple, that's where Ghana is right now.
By many definitions, nuclear energy is not renewable. But in terms of climate change, nuclear energy production does not release greenhouse gases, hence its classification as a low-carbon fuel.
African island nation Sao Tome and Principe is seeking to leverage Ghana's ports and harbour infrastructure. Both countries have advanced negotiation that will see increased cooperation in freight and other related activities. Receiving a government delegation from Sao Tome and Principe, Transport Minister Kweku Ofori-Esiama says he's looking for fruitful negotiations that will yield mutual benefits for all countries involved.
Adelino Rosa Cardoso is leading a high delegation from the Ministry of Infrastructure, Natural Resources and Environment of the Republic of Sao Tome and Principe to assess Ghana's port infrastructure. Both countries are seeking to increase cooperation, especially in the areas of freight and other related transport sectors. Ghana's Minister for Transport, Kweku Ofori-Esiama, who received the delegation, indicates Ghana's readiness to scale up international collaboration that will boost investments.
When I was in New York with the President in the UN General Assembly, the Prime Minister of Sao Tome had a meeting with us and expressed his intention that Sao Tome should have a very strong ties with Ghana in terms of port area. So they want to use Ghana as first port of entry so that they will use here as a federal distribution to Sao Tome. By doing so, they want to have some infrastructure facility as far as our port is concerned. So he's here to abreast himself with our port infrastructure. Like I said in my intro, that we have one of the most sophisticated ports in the world today. The MPS port is one of the best ports that we can ever have. So he will have a look at it. And I also said that Takoradi port was built in 1928. The draft was 8.3 meters. So you couldn't attract any huge investment. So when President took over, he made it a point that, look, we need to bring Takoradi up to international standard. So now we give a contract to a Ghanaian company, Ibis-Tech. They built a new container multipurpose terminal to the draft of 60 meters, which can compete in any other port in the world. So you also have a look at Takoradi Port. We have a new dry bulk jetty, very automated, completely automated, no manual work. We have oil and gas, one of the most sophisticated new oil and gas terminal, also at Takoradi. So Takoradi Port, I can say that it's a new port, but the name is old, because everything in Takoradi today, as I'm talking, is new. It's a modern infrastructure we have in Takoradi. So you also have a look at Takoradi. Then we can sit down, the two of us will take a decision whether Sao Tome is going to use Takoradi or the use Tema as their port of entry.
Adelino Rosa Cardoso, while expressing confidence in Ghana's ports and harbours, says his visit to Ghana also provides more opportunities to explore partnerships in other areas of cooperation, such as tourism.
Ghana became too important for Sao Tome because it is maybe 20-25 years we have a relationship with Ghana, but we have a relationship about the transport, especially aerial transport. Now you want to discuss about another areas. You go to discuss about the port, because the location of the Ghana country is very good to have the relationship, because our location also, we have two main conditions to develop the relationship about the ports, and you think also to speak about another areas. For example, our country, they propose the condition for the tourism. So we need also the people from Ghana to come to Sao Tome and to visit the Sao Tome and enjoy the Sao Tome country, because we have a beautiful island.
The Sao Tome and Principe delegation will visit Tema and Takoradi ports later this week to apprise themselves with the level of advancement in Ghana's ports.
You're still watching Business Live with me, Emma Davis. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. Welcome. Acting Commissioner of the National Insurance Commission, Kofi Ando, has announced that it is developing an agricultural insurance fund to serve as a de-risking tool for farmers. According to him, developing the right model to make agricultural insurance policies affordable, as well as building the capacity of insurance to deliver tailored services, will be crucial for the growth of the sector. There is more in this report.
As we gather here to mark the signing of a memorandum of understanding between the National Insurance Commission and PolicyLink Ghana. This agreement is a significant step in our collective commitment to address the unique challenges faced by our agricultural sector and the need for adequate risk protection for our farmers. Agriculture is the backbone of our nation. It sustains the livelihoods of a majority of our population and contributes significantly to our economy. However, this critical sector faces a multitude of risks, including unpredictable weather patterns, pests, and diseases, which can jeopardize the livelihood of farmers and food security. It is incumbent upon us to find innovative solutions that offer financial protection to those who feed our nation. The establishment of an agricultural insurance fund represents a significant step in this direction. The Agricultural Insurance Fund is a statutory fund that is established by the Insurance Act, Act 1061, 2021, to help to make premiums, agricultural insurance premiums, more affordable, to develop the logistics needed to deliver agricultural insurance, to train and build the capacity of the human resources that are involved in delivering agricultural insurance, and to promote the deployment of technology in that space. The fund is made up of reps from the National Insurance Commission, the Ghana Insurers Association, the Ministry of Finance, and Ministry of Agriculture.
Still in the agric space, the month of October is known for creating awareness on an array of issues. The agric sector is not left out, as the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization has earmarked October 16 as World Food Day. I have been engaging the country representative, Dr. Yerdi Yasmi, on the strides made to end hunger.
16th of October was the founding date of FAO in 1945, just after the World War II. Now we commemorate the 16th of October as the World Food Day.
What we refer to as hunger can be experienced in different ways. At its essence, it is a painful sensation caused by not eating enough food. The inability to obtain food in the face of hunger is a grievous violation of right to food. But many people who are not hungry may be food insecure. This means they may be forced to reduce the quality or quantity of food they eat. Per the prevalence of undernourishment indicator, 735 million people faced hunger in 2022. The United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, has taken upon itself to rid the world of hunger and malnutrition. Here's country representative to Ghana, Dr. Yerdi Yasmi, outlining some measures taken to ensure that Ghana's contribution to the Global Hunger Index reduces.
What FAO have been doing is working hand in hand with the government to build good policies, good agricultural policies, to build capacities of the agri-food systems in Ghana, and to work together through various projects. For example, through projects on food security, on nutrition, on fisheries, on forestries, and on livestock.
Data from the 2022 that 15.1 million people were food insecure in Ghana. The country risks the number increasing, but FAO says it is implementing a new technology to keep farmers afloat to continue filling the bread basket.
So the weather patterns has changed, which causes a lot of challenges for our agriculture. In this case, we need to bring in knowledge, science, and innovation to our agriculture. How can we, for example, introduce drought-tolerant varieties of soybeans, of maize, because water is becoming scarce. Secondly, water is not available every time. In northern Ghana, the rainy season is only once. People or farmers can only produce one cycle per year, unlike in southern Ghana, where we can produce 2 crops per year. So in this case, one of the innovation that FAO is bringing in is to introduce green technologies of irrigation, what we call solar panel irrigation.
Government's flagship program, Planting for Food and Jobs, is aimed at transforming Ghana's agriculture by increasing food production to enhance food security. Some analysts have criticized the impact of the initiative, but here's what FAO, a policymaker, had to say about the program.
There are a lot of thought behind these programs. Government has clear ideas of what to be produced, how much, and how. Government has also put the system of the input credit systems, working with aggregators.
The full interview will air tomorrow at 6 p.m. on the JoyNews channel, and that's how we end Business Live today with me, Emma Davis. For more news, do log on to myjoyonline.com. Good evening.